Welcome, welcome, Animas. I am so excited to be filling the seat of our resident moon astrologer, Marlene. And for those of you who may not know me in the playback, I am Ilona Pamplona, the Postmodern Oracle, and the Anime Collective's community person. So I am so excited to come in and tell you about today and this week's juicy energy. I mean, it's the new moon. But y'all, this week's energy, okay. So in fact, before we go, rewind, I want you to drop in the comment section any emoji that represents how you felt last week. Because I don't know if you were feeling the cosmic confusion, but we had many, many, many things in Pisces. Now, Pisces last week, we had the sun. We had, I think we still had Mercury there. We have Saturn just moved in there recently. We have Neptune's there for a little bit. So yeah, I'm seeing poopy face. I'm seeing fire. I'm seeing sadness. Yeah. Pisces is our empath. Pisces is optimism and believing in dreams and connecting to spirit. But when the world gets too dense, it can also get overwhelmed, right? It needs the opposite, which is Virgo, to begin to ground in and say, okay, I have my feet on the ground. And last week we had Mars, like kind of in a fight off stance with some of these planets that we had in Pisces. So there was this aggression with the sign of peace and optimism and going with the flow. And it's interesting because if you've upgraded from astrology and started playing with human design or playing with gene keys, last week's specific degree of Pisces is related to what's called the human design gate of crisis and the gene key gate, which has a shadow of turbulence. But the gift is compassion, which is great. Like, right, we want that Piscean compassion. But because of the turbulence with these squares, we're feeling more of the crisis, right? And so I think like everyone felt last week was kind of like poopy doops. Like seriously, a lot of people people were waiting to quit their jobs. People were willing to fight with their relationships. People were ready to give up on themselves. I had a lot of clients and people in the community who were like, I think I'm done. I think I'm good. I don't see a way out. But guess what? Like Scarlett O'Hara said in the movie, tomorrow is another day, right? Today is a new beginning. Actually, yesterday was the beginning of the new beginnings. We are in a season of new beginnings. So y'all, we make New Year's resolutions on January 1st. And I want to ask who in the world thought it was a smart idea to start New Year's resolutions during Capricorn season. If y'all don't know, Capricorn represents Father Time, and Father Time likes to look at the past, not the future. So if up until now you have been feeling guilty that you didn't accomplish, like put an emoji in the comment section if you're like, what the F did I do the past 3 months? What have I been doing? Like, what is wrong with me? If you've been feeling like, what is wrong with me for the past 3 months? I want you to drop the emoji. I see the melty emoji. I love the melty emoji, by the way. It is like the perfect Pisces season emoji. And I'm so glad we're in Aries because we get to fire that up. But if you have been beating yourself up because you're like, why am I not moving things forward? It's because the beginning of the year is actually associated with taking stock. It's saying, what happened last year? Now, taking stock allows us to know what we're going to generate in the year ahead. But January is not necessarily the season to get shit started, okay? Like it is a season to pay attention and see, what did I create up until now? Then we move into Aquarius season, right? End of January through February. And that is all about, okay, what do I see for the future? But Aquarius likes to rebel. And so there's going to be like, when we're in our shadows during Aquarius season, we're going to be like fighting ourselves. And then we have Pisces season, and we're like, Pisces makes us feel good. But when we're confused, when the tension comes up with certain planets, we're going to be like, I don't know. I don't know. Like literally every answer is, I don't know. And so yesterday, the sun freaking entered Aries. And why do I say it that way? Because Aries is literally ruled by Mars. the planet of war. So it's literally like in the old school wars where you had like the frontline battalion. Aries is a frontline battalion. Aries goes, put me in, coach. I'm ready to fight. I'm ready to play. I'm ready to go. This is the astrological new year. This is your moment to fire yourself up. This is your holy instant to begin to put fire, to fan the flames of what you took stock of, what you could see possible, and where you may have misaligned. Aries goes, now I'm ready to get in. I'm ready to get in the game. So if up until now, this year, you felt like you've not been making the type of movement, progress, Aries is the progress maker. Aries is the one who's going to go to war. The Aries placements will go to war for you. And it's specifically for you because additionally, other than representing the initiation, the start, by the way, I don't know if y'all know, but every sign of the zodiac represents an age time frame of life. And Aries is the newborn. Taurus is a toddler. Gemini is a school child. So Aries is the initiation. You are being reborn. This is our season of rebirth. So if last week you're like, F this, I'm done. This week you're like, all right, let's get this party started. It is the time to allow yourself to get the party started. Give yourself permission to let last week go and get the party started. Now, there's a lot of parties we're starting because it's not just Aries. We got a lot of parties this week. So first of all, yesterday, Sun entered Aries, party number 1. Today, Moon in Aries, party number 2. So we have a solar new year and a lunar new year, right? And these two, Sun represents who are we being, Moon represents our emotions, but it's like, how are we nourishing ourselves? And both of them are new beginnings. And it all represents, Aries represents the phrase, I am. So the reason I asked you to go into your birth chart is because whatever house Aries is falling in, that's where you probably will specifically experience that feeling of, okay, I'm ready to get this fire started again. So for example, if you have Aries in the first, you may feel a rebirth in your own personal self, like a self upon self rebirth. If you have Aries in the second, you might experience a financial invigoration and rebirth. If you have Aries in the third house, you might experience, and feel free to drop them in so that we know where you are, and we'll go into the Q&As later on. But if you have Aries in the third, you might have a mental rebirth. Like you might be thinking about yourself in a new way and activating how you think and speak. Okay, I love that. Third, so Marcy, Aries in the third, you're gonna, how am I thinking about myself? I get to think about myself in a brand new way, in an inspiring new way. So we got 2 in the third house. How am I I get to speak into my life in a new way. Oh, so you three third houses. Okay, this is huge. How are you speaking to yourself? How are you thinking upon yourself? Use those words in your minds to cast spells on what gets to initiate in your life. I have Aries in the fourth. So y'all, I'm not even in Florida right now. I'm in Las Vegas. I don't know where I'm going to be 2 months from now, a year from now. I get to have a rebirth in what home is for me. I'm experiencing a literal home environment rebirth. I was even looking into, maybe I'll move to Spain. Esther, maybe I'll be your neighbor. Yeah. Aries in the fifth, your creativity, your passion. You may go, I have a new thing that I'm in love with life about. If you have Aries in the sixth, you might have a rebirth in your health. In the seventh, partnerships and relationships. In the eighth, if you're watching the replay and you have Aries in the eighth right now, you're having a complete transformation. Like who you were last season is not who you are going to begin to become. It's like it's a rebirth of your initiation. If you have it in the ninth, this is about expansion, like all types of expansion of your consciousness, expansion of what you believe in, a rebirth. Like, Esther, you might be like, oh, what do I really believe in? What do I really put my faith in? Where am I willing to go beyond the borders? Ninth house is also about travels. You might be like, I want to travel. My self-identity is no longer restricted to an actual border. The ninth house is expansion. I think I saw someone in the 10th, your career, you about to be a brand new person with what you do. Whoever was it? Judy. Yeah, girl, Judy, 10th house. Who are you really being in the work that you're doing? Is this who you are, right? 11th house, your communities, your goals and wishes. And then the 12th house, karma and creativity, but also spirituality. And so I want you to think, I want you to like either watch or replay, write it down now and think about it. The themes of Aries is the self, but we're talking confidence. In these places, you get to infuse confidence. In these spaces, you get to infuse authentic expression, your authentic self. This is not about masking. Aries goes in unfiltered. Aries is unfiltered self. I don't know if you have a lot of Aries in your life, but I've had a lot of Aries people in my life that people misunderstand because like fire, like the cardinal fire that it is, it doesn't wait to think about, is this going to land right? It goes, this is what I'm thinking. And people go, that was rude. And it's like, no, it wasn't rude. It was what they were thinking in the moment. And then they let it go while other people hold on to it. This is about not waiting for permission. This is Aries is cardinal signs. Aries, Cancer, Libra, Capricorn. Those 4 signs are about getting things started, not waiting for permission. So I want to invite you all that this is your moment. While you're this is like a big, like I personally hate like, this is the best day to manifest because you see it every day, like on Instagram and TikTok. This is the best day. But today, this week is an excellent week to get really aligned with yourself on what you're manifesting. This is when you can really get clear on who am I, what do I want, how can I be authentically me in what I am grabbing in this world. And wherever it's landing, that's where you really are going to feel it. So those houses, I bring in the houses because that's where you're probably going to experience most of the manifestation. So Kathy, Heidi, Marcy, like, I'm really freaking excited. What are you doing on social media? What kind of presentations are you doing? What book are you writing? What vlogs are you creating? Because that's where you're going to experience an authentic initiation of yourself. This is an initiation. I want you to think of this as your astrological baptism of the year. You are being rebirthed and like given yourself the fire in you to do what you get to do. It is fire season. But wait, it gets better because on Thursday, in addition to this manifesting, so the sun and the moon is requiring us to go in. I do not want you to go outside of yourself unless you're using an outside tool to go in deeper, because Aries is the self. This is not about who do I get to play with and where do I get. No, this is what is in me. What is my thought? What is my desire? What is my passion? What do I get to give myself permission to light up? Plus, yesterday was also the equinox. Aries and Libra represent the equinoxes. And equinox is literally Latin for equinox, equal night. Libra balances us out by going into the cave and darkening and replenishing. But Aries balances us out by bringing in more light. We are literally ready to light shit up. This is your moment to light shit up. I don't know if we're allowed to curse. I don't even care. I'm from Jersey. I never censor myself, but this is the moment. This is the moment to light things up. I'm like looking at all of you. This is your moment. Do not wait. Do not wait. Stop waiting for permission. You are the permission. This is a season of you are the permission. You are the fire. You are the catalyst. You are the alchemist in the season. But then we go into Thursday. Thursday, we have Pluto. Pluto is going into Aquarius, y'all. So let's talk about why this is important with this season. Because if we do not do the inner work with the moon and sun in Aries, Pluto and Aquarius will drag our cosmic booties through the mud. Why? Because Pluto is the underworld. Pluto is like Hades energy. It's literally representative of the underworld, right? It was in Capricorn for 15 years. But it's not going to be in Aquarius for 15 years. No. It's going to be in Aquarius for 21 years. 21 years. And we are starting it this week. So this week was big. We have the sun in Aries, moon moving to Taurus, Aquarius, Pluto and Aquarius. Plus 2 weeks ago, we had Saturn going to Pisces. We have a lot of like these transits that are just changing. The world is shifting a lot cosmically. And when we know what's happening, we get to ride the wave and not be dragged by the wave, right? So what does this mean, Pluto and Aquarius? Aquarius is the cosmic rebel. She is ready to fight the cosmic fight for humanity. But what happens if you put Aquarius and Aries together? It's war. Like we're going all out war. But it doesn't have to be a war. It also represents humanity. So the way I see this is that with this Aries sun and moon and this Pluto and Aquarius, we get to think globally with Pluto and Aquarius, because Aquarius represents the collective, everyone. We're going to be in 21 years where we get to think globally, but with the first part of this week being Aries, we get to act locally. So you get to start with, who am I? What are my values? What do I get to light up? And then by the end of the week, you're like, then how does this ripple into the world? How does my fire get to contribute to humanity? Often we see a problem and we go, oh, this is what everyone has to do, but we haven't cleaned up our act first. So we get to start with aligning our authentic self, giving ourselves permission so that then we can go out into the world and give the world our fire, our revolution, and our vision. The next 21 years, the world is going to change in a lot of ways because Aquarius also represents technology, future vision. So the reason I ask, where is Aquarius in your chart? Because Pluto and Aquarius is going to be like, that's also rebirth. Pluto is where we experience loss, where we experience grief, so that we can then attain that very same thing that we lost. So I want you to see, where is Aquarius in your chart? Because that's what, for the next 21 years, you get to rebirth. What house? What house? You don't know what house? Where's Pluto? I mean, where do you have Aquarius in the second? Girl, you and me, we both have Aquarius in the second house. That's gonna be fun. We're gonna talk about that. Aquarius in the first. Kathy, tell me what your rising is, or we'll also take questions at the end. But every theme that I discussed about, that's where Aquarius, where Aquarius, we're gonna be thinking, what gets to be let go of for the next 21 years in the theme of that house? And where do you get to create a new vision? Personally, Aquarius is the visionary. Aquarius represents knowing now and doing now what you know will have to be done in 10, 15, 20, 21 years from now. So it's like you get to decide where you get to be an early adopter of that experience. So for example, second house, y'all, second house, we get to have Marcy and I, you're going to be watching us have a new vision of money, because second house is money. So we're going to be going through it and we're going to be having it all at the same time. I actually bought these vintage books. They're not at my reach. And this like book from the 60s was like, let us introduce you to Pluto. Pluto is a planet that will drag you through hell in order for you to reach heaven. And so that's how it is, right? It's not that you're just going to go through the poopy doops of Pluto transits. It's because Pluto wants you to get the most of that, right? And so seventh house, for example, Esther, seventh house, you're going to really learn through like a rebirth of one-on-one relationships and partnerships. So it doesn't have to be your personal romantic one. It could be like business partnerships. And we already know, like, that's something that you're navigating. Aquarius in the first, Heidi, you are going to get to say, what is my vision of myself? What parts of myself do I get to let go to be the person I want to be 21 years from now? And it doesn't mean we have to wait 21 years, y'all, by the way. I don't want you to think that you have to wait 21 years to get this straight, right? But it is the work now. The work is being in the vision of what you get to let go of to be that, to experience that. So Marcy, you and I get to be like, what do I get to let go of when it comes to money? Like, what am I not seeing when it comes to money so I can have the bag? Eighth house, Judy, girl. Judy, eighth house is the house of blind spots, shadow work, transformation. It is rebirth. You are experiencing rebirth upon rebirth. 21 years from now, and probably earlier than that, you will be a brand new person. You are not going to be the person you know today. You will not be the person you know today. Who else? We did the first. I don't have no, you don't have. So I'm just going to clarify for anyone who's watching the replay. You don't need to have a planet in the sign of Aquarius, but Aquarius will fall in a specific house. So what I want you to do is when you're looking at the chart, I want you to see what house Aquarius is in, so that because that's where you're going to experience a transformation. Just to give you an idea, I don't have any planets in Aries, but I'm experiencing the transit of Aries in my fourth house because that's where Aries falls in my houses. So we have all of the signs in us. We just don't have all of the planets, planets in every sign. Okay. So, and we'll go over that at the in the Q&A, Kathy. So don't worry about that. But yeah, okay. So recap. Beginning of the week, brand new you, initiation. It is your birth. It is your permission to be your most authentic, inspired, catalytic, fired up self. Where do you get to illuminate more of yourself in these spaces? Where do you get to shine light of who you are? And if you're not sure of that, that is the work you get to do. The beginning of this week, now, yesterday, tomorrow is who am I? What do I get to light up? What do I get to do? By the end of the week is what do I get to let go of, so that I can experience the gift of the house that it's in and contribute to humanity too, because Aquarius is not like I'm doing it for myself. Aries, we're doing this for ourselves. Aries, we are doing this for ourselves. Aquarius, we're doing it for the collective. So it's thinking locally to act globally, thinking locally to act globally. Now, one more reason why this rebirth energy in Aries is so big is because we also have Chiron there. Chiron is the wounded healer. Until 2027, we are going to be really healing ourselves. I am not surprised that at the beginning of the pandemic, we had Chiron in Aries and Saturn in Aquarius, like literally. So this Aries Aquarius combo, who says astrology isn't real? It is not a coincidence that we have been forced to do the inner work so that we can show up collectively. Doing the inner work to show up collectively, but we have to do the inner work. We are healing our inner selves. By the way, Jupiter is also there and Mercury's there. Aries, Jupiter Aries, Chiron Aries, Mercury Aries, Sun Aries, Moon Aries. Today is about the you. Welcome back, Judy. You get to do you. Like literally, I want you to think, if you're like holding yourself back in anything, your phrase of the week is you do you, boo. You do you, boo. Right? Don't stop asking for permission, because until you allow yourself to light yourself up, you will not have the impact that you think you're going to have in the rest of the world. Other things that are coming up. So we also have Saturn in Pisces. Saturn went into Pisces recently, and I don't know if Marlene covered that in the last moon report, but Saturn in Pisces is about spiritual responsibility. So I know a lot of us work in the realm of something bigger than us. And so this isn't about bypassing. This is about getting real responsible, being like, okay, we're going to call upon something bigger than us responsibly so that we can align ourselves to be of contribution. This is also, I'm going to say something else. This is about radical self-compassion. The gift of Pisces is the compassion. The gift of Pisces is compassion. This is not about judging yourself. This is not about over-identifying with the things that you've done wrong in the past. This is not about isolation. Pisces says, I know that this has a bigger purpose, and I'm going to forgive myself and others to be in this journey. And that is my download for the day. So if you are watching us in the replay, we would love to have you in this community. The Anima Collective is a place where soul development and entrepreneurship meet. We do things like moon reports as well as business masterclasses so that you can align in every aspect of your life. If you'd like to join us, you could definitely DM us, email us, find us on social media at the Anima Collective. And until the next one, I hope that you all really, really think locally and think globally and act locally, because it's your moment. All right, loves. And we are